So for me, I think the most valuable thing that we have in our entire company is our brand. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily true for every business, but I think it's true for a lot of companies. And so at the end of the day, everything that we do in the company needs to go back to support the brand. It needs to be thought out from the perspective of the brand. Everything that we do in life revolves around some sort of a brand. When I get up and speak, it's my personal brand. Whatever we push out through any sort of advertising channel with Hilberg and Burke speaks to our brand and what we want people to think about our brand. So yeah, I could talk on and on about brands and branding forever. I'm very passionate about branding, and I think it is the most critical asset you have in a company.
I agree with you 100%. What are some inexpensive but extremely effective marketing tools that maybe you've uncovered along the way or are aware of for cash-strapped startups?
Yeah, I mean, today you can start a business and you have an opportunity to start and scale your business like no other time in history because of social media. I mean, social media is changing every single day, and sometimes that can be frustrating for people who are starting to start their business. But even from when I started, 12 years ago, like, it has changed so much. And if you do things properly and you have great attention to detail and really a strong focus on a brand and a purpose, you can build out a customer base really inexpensively, whereas there's no way you could do that 20 years ago. So I think that there's an amazing opportunity for innovative and really truly differentiated companies.
And it is a bit of a double-edged sword, right? Because it can also harm you. So have you seen examples where companies have tried to use social media and somehow it backfired?
Yeah, I think that it's a positive. I love that things are becoming more consumer driven. It causes brands to be a lot more transparent, to really own their customer service, to be more customer focused, especially in Canada, which we lack truly incredible customer service in this country. And I think that it's really shifting things, having consumers' voices have way more power than they ever did before. So although I think you could look at it as a double-edged sword, within our company, we look at it as a positive. When we get a negative review or bad feedback, we listen to that customer and really truly think about how we can make our company better because of that. So we don't ever brush it off. And we have a whole department that's focused around its customer care. So they handle every single place where a customer can interact with us. It all meets in customer care, and customer care reviews all of the feedback we get, good, bad, and otherwise. And we're constantly looking at any negative feedback we have and figure out how can we change our business? Do we need to change our business? And if we do, what do we need to do to ensure that our customers are having the best possible experience that we can give them?
So what are some common marketing mistakes that you've seen other entrepreneurs make, or maybe even your own companies?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that probably relating back to branding is a lack of clarity on brand, or no brand. I think that's the trap that a lot of small businesses get into, is never really stopping to take the time to think about, what's my purpose? What are we here to do? How can we differentiate ourselves? What are we the best in Regina or in Canada at doing? And how can we tell that story properly? So I think that's probably the number one thing that I see that frustrates me, that I feel like you could do it better if you just got back to a purpose, if you understood what your purpose is and really communicated that.
So as a marketing guru, what 3 simple tips would you share with budding entrepreneurs?
So I think the most important thing when you're starting a company is to understand why you're doing it. If you're not truly passionate about what you're doing, it's going to be very difficult to be successful. So what is that thing that gets you up in the morning, that drives you, that makes you want to do whatever it is you're going to do, and really articulating that purpose? And then what are the core values that you have, that you bring to that company? That doesn't matter what company you would start, you would still bring those core values to it. And so if you can start and really understand, and I mean, it has taken me and Hilberg and Burke a decade to figure this out. So it's not easy to do. It takes time. It's kind of like self-actualization. Self-actualization. You don't self-actualize when you're an infant or a toddler or a teenager, but yet that piece of the business is so crucial that you have to start working on it right from the start. And I think that you can figure out your purpose easily. Sometimes core values take a little bit longer, but really understanding why you're doing what you want to do, and then always working on branding that continually, and just focusing on the brand. So figuring out what your purpose is, why you're passionate about it. Really focus on the branding and telling that purpose story within the company, and then maybe like the third thing would be not selling yourself short. Like really aiming high. When you aim high, even if you miss, you're hopefully still, achieving great results. But just really taking that purpose that you have and believing in it wholeheartedly, even when you don't.